that darkness peering, long I stood there, wondering, fearing, doubting.
Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem is a psychological horror action-adventure game developed by Silicon Knights and published by Nintendo for the GameCube. But there's one thing you may not know about this game: sanity is not included. In Eternal Darkness, your character's sanity is constantly under threat from the horrors that lurk in the shadows. As your sanity decreases, your character will experience visual and auditory hallucinations, such as blood gushing from the walls or eerie whispers in your ear. These sanity effects add an extra layer of tension and fear to the gameplay. But perhaps the most notorious sanity effect of all is the infamous insanity effect. At certain points in the game will trick you into thinking that it's deleting your saved data or corrupting your memory card. This effect is designed to mess with your mind and make you feel truly helpless, but rest assured, your saved data is safe and sound. Eternal Darkness is a richly detailed game with a deep and engaging story, sprawling environments, and a wide variety of enemies to face. The game's sanity mechanics make it a truly unique and unsettling experience that will leave you on the edge of your seat until the very end. So, if you're a fan of psychological horror and want to experience a game that's unlike anything else, be sure to check out Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem, Sanity Not Included. Game overview. Released in 2002 for the Nintendo GameCube, Eternal Darkness is a psychological horror masterpiece that has been largely forgotten by the gaming community. It's a shame, because this game pushed the boundaries of the genre in so many ways and remains one of the most unique and unsettling experiences ever created. Gameplay and sanity meter. At its core, Eternal Darkness is a third-person survival horror game. However, it sets itself apart with its innovative sanity meter. As you progress through the game, your character's sanity will degrade as they witness horrific events and solve mind-bending puzzles. The sanity meter affects not only the gameplay, but also the story itself. As your sanity drops, the line between reality and hallucination blurs, and the game begins to play tricks on you. This creates an incredibly immersive and unsettling experience that keeps you guessing at every turn. Narrative and characters. The story of Eternal Darkness is complex and engaging. It follows multiple characters across different time periods as they uncover the ancient secrets of an enigmatic artifact known as the Tome of Eternal Darkness. The characters are well developed and relatable, and their struggles and fears are palpable. Atmosphere and sound design. The atmosphere in Eternal Darkness is second to none. The game's visuals are creepy and oppressive, with a muted color palette and detailed textures that create a sense of realism. The sound design is equally impressive, featuring eerie ambient noises, unsettling music, and chilling voice acting. Ahead of its time. Eternal Darkness was a groundbreaking game in many ways. It was one of the first games to use the sanity meter mechanic, which has since become a staple in psychological horror games. It also featured an innovative storytelling style that blended reality and hallucination in a way that had never been done before. In addition, Eternal Darkness was one of the first games to feature a female protagonist as its main character. Alexandra Roivas is a strong, resourceful, and deeply flawed woman who is forced to confront her own sanity and the horrors of the world around her. Conclusion. While Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem may not be as popular as other survival horror classics like Resident Evil or Silent Hill, it is undoubtedly one of the most innovative and underrated games in the genre. Its unique gameplay, unsettling atmosphere, and thought-provoking story that make it a true hidden gem that deserves to be rediscovered. Narrative story. Deep within the heart of a sprawling ancient temple, a tale of darkness and horror unfolds, a tale that transcends the boundaries of time and reality. Meet Alexandra Roivas, an ordinary college student with an extraordinary legacy. Drawn to the temple by a dark and mysterious force, she must uncover the truth behind her family's past and confront an ancient evil that threatens to consume all of humanity. As Alexandra delves deeper into the temple, she encounters a cast of memorable characters from different time periods, each grappling with their own sanity-shattering realities. Through these stories, Alexander begins to piece together a complex and twisted narrative, one that blurs the line between reality and fiction. Eternal Darkness Sanity's Requiem is a Lovecraftian masterpiece that challenges the player's grip on reality. Through its unique sanity system, the game creates a sense of unpredictability and uncertainty, making each playthrough a heart-pounding and terrifying experience. In the end, Alexandra must face her fears and embrace her destiny. With the fate of the world at stake, she embarks on a perilous journey into the heart of darkness, a journey that will leave her sanity and the players hanging in the balance. Eternal Darkness Sanity's Requiem, a narrative tour de force that will leave you questioning your own grip on reality. What made it memorable? Eternal Darkness Sanity's Requiem, a cult classic horror video game released in 2002 for the GameCube. But what made this game so memorable? For starters, the game's unique approach to horror. Instead of relying on jump scares and gore, Eternal Darkness focused on psychological horror and atmospheric storytelling. The sanity meter, which depletes as the character encounters supernatural creatures and events, added a layer of tension and uncertainty to the gameplay. As the meter drops, the player experiences visual and auditory hallucinations, blurring the line between reality and insanity. These sanity effects were a groundbreaking feature at the time, and added a level of immersion that other horror games couldn't match. The sense of dread and paranoia that came with losing one's sanity was palpable, making for a truly memorable gaming experience. On top of its innovative horror elements, Eternal Darkness also boasted a compelling non-linear story spanning across different time periods and characters. Each character had their own motivations, abilities, and backstory, making for a rich and engaging narrative. The game's combat system offered a satisfying balance of strategy and action, with a wide range of spells and weapons to choose from. And the boss battles, each one unique and challenging, provided a satisfying payoff to the player's progress. From the creepy Lovecraftian-inspired locales to the intricately designed levels, Eternal Darkness was a visual treat. The attention to detail in the game's environments added to the overall atmosphere and immersion, making for a truly unforgettable gaming experience. And with multiple endings based on the player's choices and actions, Eternal Darkness provided a level of replayability that was unheard of at the time. Each playthrough offered new revelations and surprises, adding to the game's overall appeal. Since its release, Eternal Darkness has garnered a dedicated fan base and critical acclaim. Its innovative horror elements, engaging story, and satisfying gameplay have made it a game that is still talked about and played to this day. Eternal Darkness Sanity's Requiem, a game that will forever be remembered for its groundbreaking approach to horror and immersive storytelling. Eternal Darkness Sanity's Requiem is a cult classic horror video game released in 2002 for the GameCube. With its unique sanity effects and deep storyline, it quickly gained a dedicated fan base. But what happened to the sequel? Developed by Silicon Knights, Eternal Darkness was their most ambitious project yet. The game received critical acclaim for its innovative gameplay and mechanics and horror elements, which capitalize on psychological horror and metafiction. The game's success prompted speculation of a sequel, and fans eagerly awaited news of a new installment. However, things took a dark turn when Silicon Knights was sued by Epic Games for breach of contract in 2007. The lawsuit centered around Silicon Knights' use of the Unreal Engine, which the alleged Epic Games sabotaged. The lawsuit was settled in 2012, with Silicon Knights being ordered to destroy all unsold copies of their games that used the Unreal Engine. The legal battle took a toll on Silicon Knights, and they were unable to recover financially. The studio closed down in 2014, and with it, any hopes of a sequel to Eternal Darkness. The loss of Silicon Knights was a blow to the gaming industry, as the studio had a reputation for producing high-quality games. With the closure of the studio, any hope of a sequel to Eternal Darkness was seemingly lost. Fans of Eternal Darkness were undoubtedly disappointed by the news. The game's unique blend of horror and metafiction had left a lasting impression on many, and the prospect of a sequel had long been a source of excitement. However, there is still hope for fans of the game. In 2018, Nintendo filed the trademark for Eternal Darkness. sparking speculation that they may be working on a new installment. Only time will tell if we will ever see a sequel to this beloved classic. Eternal Darkness Sanity's Requiem remains a classic in the horror genre, and although the sequel may never come to fruition, the game's impact on the industry is undeniable. Eternal Darkness Sanity's Requiem is a classic survival horror game that was released back in 2002 for the Nintendo GameCube. But what if this game was remastered for modern consoles? Let's explore the possibility. For those who haven't played Eternal Darkness before, the game is a third-person survival horror that follows the story of Alex Roivas as she uncovers the dark secrets of her family's past. The game is known for its unique sanity effects, where the game world would change and distort as your character's sanity decreases. Today, many survival horror games have adopted similar sanity mechanics, but Eternal Darkness was one of the first to do it, and it did it well. The game's innovative mechanics and deep story would still hold up well today, making it a prime candidate for a remaster. With modern consoles having more power and capabilities than ever before, a remastered Eternal Darkness could bring the game to a wider audience and introduce a new generation of gamers to this classic title. Improved graphics, updated controls, and new features could make this game feel like a fresh experience while still retaining the original's charm and atmosphere. The fan base for Eternal Darkness is still strong, with many dedicated fans keeping the game's memory alive through various forms of media. A remastered version of the game could only help to grow and strengthen this community even further. Unfortunately, Silicon Knights, the original developer of Eternal Darkness, is no longer in business. But that doesn't mean a remaster can't be made. Plenty of other developers have taken on the task of remastering classic games, and Eternal Darkness would be no exception. A remastered Eternal Darkness Sanity's Requiem would be a dream come true for many fans of the game, and it could bring a new level of horror and excitement to modern consoles. Here's hoping that one day we'll get to see this classic game reborn for a new generation. Upon its release, Eternal Darkness received widespread critical acclaim for its innovative gameplay mechanics, engaging storyline, and atmospheric horror elements. Despite its initial success, however, the game has never received a true sequel, leaving fans to speculate on what could have been. Despite this, Eternal Darkness has left a lasting impact on the gaming industry, inspiring countless other games to explore similar themes and mechanics. Its unique blend of psychological horror, nonlinear storytelling, and innovative gameplay make it a true classic in the genre.